Asian Champions League continues tonight, and we're going to preview all the action as Sydney FC and Melbourne Victory get into things. Phil Moss is here to join us. G'day, Phil.
Morning, boys.
The Sky Blues, they're going up against Guangzhou Evergrande. Is this a fair fight? The Chinese side just paid $65 million for Zaxon Martinez.
It's mind-blowing, isn't it, really? I mean, look, opportunity knocks for Sydney FC tonight. If you want to be Asia's best, you have to beat Asia's best, and they've won 2 out of the last 3 ACL campaigns. If you look at it from a financial point of view, absolutely not. It's a no-brainer. There is no comparison. But certainly from a physical point of view and a mental point of view, Sydney have to match Guangzhou and then run over the top of them second half because they're so early on into their season. But they've just come off the back of winning the Chinese Super Cup last weekend. So it's going to be a real tough assignment for Sydney, but one that's not beyond their reach.
I'm seeing a common trend when we preview these ACL fixtures. You always just suggest you park the bus, survive as long as you can, and then try to counter-attack once they start to get tired. Is that pretty much the plan with all of the Asian teams?
Look, Benny, I don't know if you'd go to parking the bus, but certainly you have to come up with a plan as a coach for with and without the ball. And without the ball, the Chinese teams are very with the ball, the Chinese teams are very aggressive, so Sydney has to have that plan. And no doubt, Graham Arnold knows what it takes to be successful in Asia. He guided the Olyroos to the 2008 Beijing Olympics through Asia, and he took the Mariners to the round of 16 in 2013. So he knows what you've got to do. It's about the players going out there and executing, but certainly Sydney have to be better in transition to attack than what they were last week over there in Japan. They have to make sure they maintain possession and attack with purpose when they win the ball.
You talk about them being better in attack and in transition in attack. They're not having a great time with injuries in terms of up front. Are they going to be a little bit blunt considering there will be no Alex Brosk and indeed no Matt Simon?
Spot on, Paddy. They lose those two, which is a massive blow for Graham Arnold. But the onus now is on Shane Smeltz, David Carney, Ninkovic. Those 3 in particular really have to lead by example, and they have to make sure that they create and take any chances they get, because in games like this in Asia, you get punished for mistakes. Now, that's at both ends of the pitch. If you don't take your chances, they will punish you down the other end of the pitch. So any chance Sydney get tonight, they have to take it. Shane Smeltz, it's time for him to stand up.
We heard Graham Arnold speaking about the difficulties that Australian football faces if clubs in Asia continue to throw huge money at great players. $65 million is an obscene amount, particularly for football in this region. Are we any chance of attracting big-name players if the likes of China, Japan, etc. are throwing money at quality strikers in particular?
Yeah, well, that figure you mentioned, Benny, could fund the whole A-League, $65 million.
So how do we compete if that's the case?
Well, you can't compete financially. It's as simple as that. What it does do, though, is if you look at the players that China has signed just in the January transfer window, they're either centre-backs, central midfielders, creative midfielders or strikers, which means that's going to push players of high quality from those teams out. So they're the players we should be aiming at, not the ones that are going to completely break the bank, but there's some real quality players in Asia that we could really do with for both the A-League and our ACL campaigns, and you need a sprinkling of big-name players from places like the Del Pieros and the Dwight Yorks that have come to the A-League. They're the type of players that we should be looking to attract, but certainly the quality ones at the top of their powers have to come from Asia.
The Victory are going to go to Japan. They're taking on Gamba Osaka. They're in Japan. They've got a miserable record in Japan. 4 times they've played there. They've conceded 14 goals. They've scored just 3. How on earth are they going to turn this one around?
It's a graveyard, not just for the Victory, but for Aussie teams. I think we've won 3 out of 20 visits there in the ACL in the history of our participation. So it's a tough assignment, but Victory will go there off the back of last week's win over Shanghai SIPG. So there's a lot of confidence that they can take over there with them. This is a chance for Melbourne Victory to make history in their ACL campaigns by winning their first 2 games, but I think a point over there would be like gold dust to Kevin Muscat. If they can get 4 points from their opening 6, then they are well on the way to qualifying for the round of 16.
You spoke of the fact that momentum is so crucial when it comes to the ACL fixtures and how A-League form can be on the verge of irrelevant. That definitely seems to be the case already with Melbourne Victory. How do they go about maintaining ACL form when they have A-League fixtures in between?
Well, that's the beauty of the ACL, Benny. It's a very fresh competition for us. Like, it really breathes a breath of fresh air through the dressing room. So I don't think that will be a problem for Kevin Muscat and his players. The key is to make sure that they put you know, the big blue behind them, obviously, because they were disappointed with the end result. But I think they can go there tonight and get a point. I really do. We've got the Asian teams at this stage of the ACL when they're still lacking match fitness, and that is crucial. You've got to stay with these teams for the first 70 minutes and then try and run over the top of them in that the back end of the game.
Well, we watch with interest. We hope the Australian teams do well. Enjoy watching the games, mate.
Thanks, Ben.